Right, more books now from one sensation to another, and her book has been described as fresh, exceptionally sharp and provocative. That's an accolade, I guess, any author wants. There's a big buzz around debut author Kiley Reid's novel. It's called Such a Fun Age. It's garnered the attention of celebrities and may even be made into a movie, something that authors all want. Well, someone who's read the book is our resident reviewer, Andrea van Wyk. So, welcome to you. Why is this such a big talking point?
Well, one of the things, or some of the themes discussed in this book regard race and class, which is obviously extremely topical. But it's the way in which it deals with these topics that makes it exceptionally fresh. The book regards a babysitter called Amira. She's a young black woman. She's 25 years old, and she works for an upper-class white family. The main character in that family is Alex, the mother. And what happens is that one night, Amira is in a grocery store with the little girl that she babysits. And a woman comes up to her and claims that she's trying to kidnap this child. And the security guard gets involved, and it's one of those stories that a lot of people might identify with, where a black woman goes into a store and gets followed by the security guard and asked what she's doing there. And what happens is that Alex, the mother, is horrified at what has happened. And she tries to make it up to Amira by giving her money, by giving her extra food, trying to be her friend. But there's something kind of patronizing about it. Even though Alex is extremely kind, there is an element of patronage there. And Amira immediately picks up on this. And the way that this book is written, it's a bit of a satire. So it makes it very funny in a way, but at the same time quite serious. So, yes, Jeremy.
So let's set up the first bit of video that you've got with you. Often the books like this, tackling big subjects, and I guess particularly in this country, when you look at issues like race and class, they can be perhaps demoted, they can be trivialized slightly. This particular book, then, how does that fit into the spectrum? So,
as I said, it has a satirical element to it, but it's not what I would call a hard satire, almost a soft satire. So there is an element of humor to it. But at the same time, it delves into these topics in a very clever and sensitive way. The one review that I read accused the book of being a bit of a whirlwind, almost as if the topics aren't taken as seriously as it should, but I don't agree with that. Life is a whirlwind, and these things happen very quickly. We don't always have time to chew them over and sit and think about them in a really difficult way. But one of the things that Kiley Reid, the author, has said is that she wanted characters to be complicated and she wanted people to be able to see that. So let's just have a listen at what she had to say about the book.
I mean, first, I hope that they just love the story. It's my favorite thing ever to be reading a book and say, oh, just do one more chapter, because I can't get enough of it. So that's definitely goal number one. While I hate, issues books, I'm also not interested in reading anything that doesn't kind of comment on the world that we live in today. So this is how I see a lot of people. So I hope that people can take away that characters are complicated. I hate, two-dimensional villains in books, especially when, in my life, the people who have driven me crazy are very lovely in some circumstances and can be great, but also do things that are not okay. And so I hope readers can take away that these racial biases, these class biases exist very harmoniously within really kind gestures and authentic love for someone. So I hope they can take away.
Yeah, I like a two-dimensional villain. Sometimes they're easier to translate onto the screen. Did you also speak to her about her process of writing?
Yes, so what I find very interesting is how different authors have such vastly different processes of writing. I remember interviewing author Barbara Kingsolver, and she told me she uses spreadsheets, an Excel spreadsheet. Some authors use organograms or just sit and make notes. So I really wanted to know how she thought and how she goes about her writing process, especially seeing as she's a debut author. Let's have a listen.
I will definitely write things down in my phone immediately. I have very long threads of emails to myself of just if I heard someone say something funny, or if I heard a toddler complain, or one time I sent an email to myself saying, write about the fight married people have about how many ice cubes can be left in a tray. Because I heard someone having a fight about it, and it's an interesting thing. One person said 2, one person said 3, and so yes, email is where all of those things are.
Okay, Andrea, so a recommended read for this rainy Saturday here in Johannesburg. It's called Such a Fun Age. Kiley Reid is the author. The publisher is Bloomsbury, and we will see you next Saturday morning.
Thanks, Jeremy.